When I was a child, my dad used to tell me bedtime stories. I would crawl up in bed, have my goofy toy to protect me, and listen to magical stories. And every time, I would ask him to tell me one more story. I was always hungry for more. But my dad can only know so many stories. So, he had to improvise. And in doing so, he created a series that would last years to come. And all he had to do was basically take the most mundane of days in my life and add a little bit magic to it. But magic wasn't the only thing that my dad brought to it. My dad brought life lessons to me. Honesty, courage, friendship, love, family, all of them took corporeal form in these stories. It taught me everything. See, my dad had eyes that could see magic in this world, and words that could bring them to that very room I used to sleep in. He had the soul of a storyteller. But for the past 2 centuries, the tradition of oral storytelling has been rapidly declining, giving rise to a new generation of unstoried, a generation that's built entirely and exclusively on bash and crash movies and cartoon, hack and slash video games. The entertainment industry thought that revamps, recycles, recontinuations of old tales, but with a little bit of a twist, an added value of stripping them completely of mystic motif and character development, which left the world with flattened out stories with no purpose and no reason. Our previous speakers were heroes. They spoke about their endeavors and heroes' journeys. We had people who were influencers, people who were travelers, adventurers, and even activists. So, in order to shed some more light on these heroes, I am going to show you how a hero's journey is like, from beginning till end. And it's a really simple story. It starts with a call to adventure. Our hero receives a secret message, an invitation, a challenge, then assistance. Our hero needs help. He needs friends. That's our little hero. And that's the friends. But what's next? Well, this is what happens, the departure. And this is what you will find common in every speaker that spoke before me. They have to cross that certain threshold from the mundane safety of their homes to the realm of magic, fantasy, and adventure. This is where it starts. The trials. Every hero goes through trials. Hercules, Odysseus, and the ones before had to pass certain trials so they can become the heroes that we once knew. These trials might seem hard, but they make the hero who he wants to be. Then, confrontation. You're faced with your biggest ordeal, the hero's biggest fear, taking corporeal form as a monster, or an evil king, an evil queen. We've seen it a million times in movies. But that's not it. See, what you see in front of you is just a shadow of what truly lies beneath. Revelation. Our hero realizes that the monsters, the trials, and everything was a trip to find what's within, not what's without. To find that inner self, to find who truly you want to be, to face your deepest, darkest fears. Disappointment? Maybe. But in movies, they take form. Your disappointment, your fear, and anxiety, rage, anger, fury, strife. All of these words, movies give them form. They give them shape. But also, they give them reason. But we can't always stay in Wonderland. We have to go back home. Going through these trials, through these revelations, We discover who we truly are, who we want to be. But we can't stay in Neverland. Wendy had to go back, and so do our heroes. They have to return to the safety of their mundane lives. But do they return the same as they were before? Well, it's a new life. Maybe not easy, definitely not the same, but with the skills and the treasures they've acquired from their journey to the magical realm, they can once again say that they're alive. Resolution. It is not the end of the journey. See, the hero's journey isn't a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It happens every day. You just have to always press yes. Joseph Campbell, in his book, A Hero of a Thousand Faces, explained that a hero's journey, the monomyth, is truly a cycle that will keep repeating itself. Every day, every hour, every minute, you're the hero of your own story. And it doesn't end there. The only thing that could break that cycle is death. Kind of morbid, really. I feel like some people are like, say it ain't so! But it's true. Our hero's journey ends with their death, and all we're left with is the stories of what they went through their lives. I personally fancied myself a hero ever since my dad told me these bedtime stories, and I've always strived to be. Every experience, every confrontation, every encounter was a dream come true, was a fantasy. Every person that I have known, I have lived, and I have, wow, this is really hard. Yeah, talking about stories is hard. Being a storyteller is hard. So you have to live through the story, hear the story, experience the story, and then do it one more time, and then one more time, and then one more time, until you cannot live them out loud any longer. See, that pause, that fear, it stops you. And once that happens, it's the end. People who find resonating heroic themes in their lives, in their goals, in creative outpourings, in their day and night dreams, are all actually being led to a single psychic fact. That is that the creative and spiritual lives of these individuals actually influences the outer world. And that the mythic world influences the individual. You can't live without the fantasy, but you can't also live without the mundane. You have to have both. So I ask every single one of you to look at yourself, because this is the actual beginning. Not my actual beginning, but every one of yours. This is how a hero's journey begins. And be sure to tell it to people. If you can't tell it, sing it. If you can't sing it, draw it. If you can't draw it, write it. If you can't do any of those, well, sign it.